It's been so hard to stay productive after getting my hands on Tears of the Kingdom. It's like I'll pick up my Switch to play for a few minutes and before I know it, 5 hours pass right by me. And I haven't felt this way about a game in such a long time, and that's honestly so refreshing. So today I think it's time to talk about some of the reasons why I think that Tears of the Kingdom is so addicting. You may have completely different reasons yourself, and I would love to hear about it in the comments. Because with all the ways there are to experience this, I don't think there would be a right or wrong answer for why it's so addicting. But judging by how much it's taking the internet by storm, I think that Nintendo found some secret sauce that is more addicting than Coke. Everything from the opening cinematic to the goddamn. But anyway, let's start off with the world itself. This map is huge. Like, seriously massive. Without spoiling much, there's basically 3 layers to this whole world, and they're all filled with purposeful things to do. Even going into the later parts of the game, you'll find yourself traveling back to the first area multiple times, either to collect resources, upgrade abilities, or even unlock secrets you may have missed out on before. And then once you unlock the last layer of the map, it's like you opened up an entirely new world. But we won't go too deep into that. Going from one place to the next, even just to unlock the towers, turns into 100 different quests on its own. If you're someone who gets really distracted, then a journey from one certain shrine or point on the map could extend into its own adventure for hours. And some other open world titles tend to waste so much of your time just traveling across the map, basically becoming walking simulators. However, with Tears of the Kingdom, it's tough to walk for even 5 minutes without stumbling across a new enemy camp to raid, a cave to explore, a new tower to unlock, a new quest to do, or even just finding secrets and items that are very useful. And I even spent a couple hours watching my girlfriend play the game, and I was shocked that even though we went through similar paths and done similar shrines, she still played the game in a totally different way than I did. She saw NPCs and quests that I never saw before. She even fought enemies that I had never seen before after playing for 9 hours at the time. And the way that she went through some of the shrines was completely new to me because she did things that I never even imagined. Seeing how many ways there are to solve the same puzzles and travel the world is refreshing, meaning that you could watch people do playthroughs or speedruns and they won't end up being the same recycled paths and strategies over and over. On some shrines, it's clear that they want you to do stuff a certain way, but stepping outside of that and experimenting turned out to be so much better. Like, I'll see how someone else tackled an obstacle and I'll get encouraged to go back and do it differently myself. Like going through these minecart sections while rail grinding on your shield instead of just using a minecart and a fan. Which leads me into the next part, which goes into the experimentation within Tears of the Kingdom. Your new abilities are much more geared towards you putting together whatever your mind can come up with just by using what's around you. You start off being a little MacGyver putting together sticks and rocks to make weapons, and you end up creating weapons of mass destruction in a matter of hours. I can't tell you how much of my time has been spent creating machines or trying out other people's ideas for constructions. I messed around with making flying scooters, all-terrain vehicles, and obviously the best skateboards in all of Hyrule. And that's not even scratching the surface compared to what I see everyone else creating. What all this reminds me of is the same level of creativity and freedom that Minecraft gives you. I mean, people have built fully functioning calculators in that game, and I couldn't even explain for a second how that works, but just thinking about the madman who put the time to creating it is crazy. And just off the experimentation alone, I think we haven't even seen the full depth of creativity from Tears of the Kingdom. And it's possible that we won't even see that full creativity up until the next mainline game comes out years from now. Finally, what I want to talk about is the combat, because I think the combat is one of the most unique aspects of Tears of the Kingdom. Something people complained about a lot with Breath of the Wild was how the weapons and the shields would break all the time. And it was a major complaint on my end too. And yeah, of course, they didn't get rid of the durability in this game. Actually, I think it's a bit worse in some cases, but the simple addition of the fuse ability made all of those complaints get thrown out of the window. Yeah, sure, my swords will break, but when I can take a stick and attach it to a diamond, I won't have anything to worry about. Turning a regular shield into a flamethrower or even a spring-powered booster not only adds to the level of creativity, but changes so much about the way you fight. For example, one time I completely ran out of bombs during a fight. So as a result, I just could not make bomb arrows. And honestly, I thought I'd be screwed because the bomb arrows would have helped me out tremendously in that moment. But as I was looking through my inventory and trying to figure out what options I had, I came across the option of using a cannon. So I attached a cannon to the end of my arrow and I shot it, and surprisingly, it worked out even better than a bomb. So many of the normal enemies and bosses no longer have one simple solution of how to take them down when there's an infinite amount of options that you have at your disposal. And yeah, you'll still have those enemies where it's like, hey, maybe I should attack that thing in its giant eyeball because that's clearly the weakness. But at the same time, you could also build anything that your mind can come up with to combat it, and I've seen people build some absolutely atrocious things. But I do love the situations that they throw you in when you don't think you have any options, but then you realize that the sky is the limit. One amazing example is when you get thrown into these shrines where they have a set of weapons for you to use and they take everything else away from you, including your armor. So it's up to you to use what they give you to your advantage while fighting the enemy constructs. Taking their weapons and fusing together whatever shields or sticks that you have with their materials to fight and brute force your way through. It's literally a game of being naked and afraid while fighting for your survival, and I love those kinds of shrines. All it takes is for you to explore, gather more materials, and figure out the playstyle that works best for you. There are no guides or tutorials that can come close to telling you the best way to play, and that's what I love about the variety. It encourages you to be an inventor and to be creative and to try out more options. The point here is that Tears of the Kingdom is absolutely a shoo-in for Game of the Year at this point. I know it sounds crazy to say when we have Final Fantasy 16 around the corner, but I still don't see it coming close. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that Tears of the Kingdom changes the way I view gaming. After playing so many linear experiences, it's breathtaking to play something that's purely fun without expecting you to learn anything super specific. In a world of these bland open world RPGs, Tears of the Kingdom blows them all out of the water since it feels like the perfect sandbox to let yourself be free. And I can go on forever about this, but let me stop so I can get back to playing. But what do you think about Tears of the Kingdom? Is it as addicting to you as it is to me? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you all in the next video.